I'm Joy Marie McKenzie, and I'm here with one of my favorite housewives of all time. She's the queen of shade, the head librarian of Bravo, because she teaches everyone how to read. It's Nene Leakes.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome.
Yes, reading is fundamental.
Yes, it
so,
is.
You know, everybody's got to catch a read every
And
now
you
and
have
then.
the best reads on Bravo.
Well, I don't know if it's a thank you or yay or what is it?
Gotcha.
Okay, yay, okay, let's rock.
But this season has been
Yeah.
awesome, season 10.
Yeah.
And a couple of years ago, you had left Real Housewives.
Yeah.
Are you glad that you came back?
I am glad that I came back. I left last season. I was here season 8. A lot of people think I wasn't. Like I was there season 8.
That's true.
I did the trip to Jamaica and stuff like that. I didn't come on at all season 9. I am glad I'm back. I needed to have a break. It was very much needed. I jumped into the entertainment industry doing Housewives, and I never had a break. And I really needed a break. I felt like I was going someplace that just wasn't like good. Like I needed to really break. I'd also gotten sick. I'd gotten blood clots.
Yeah.
And I was in the hospital. And so I just really needed to have an overall mental break and a break for my health and everything. And after that, now that I'm back, I'm totally in it to win it. So
Nice.
I'm not going anywhere. Andy and them have to drag me out this time.
We're going to get to that a little bit later. But
Yeah.
before I go on to my next question, we are taking Facebook questions. So if you have a question for Nene, please comment below on Facebook. But I'm wondering, too, because you do deal with a lot of hate. I was
Yeah.
going around the newsroom earlier, and one of our photo editors asked me to ask you, how does Nene deal with the hate? Because you hear it on social media from
Yeah.
other cast members, but how do you stay centered, because you always seem so very confident?
You know, for me, this season, I decided to not invest into the show so much. When I say that, put my time and energy into it as far as when the show is on. I don't watch it with the viewers. We get a link and we watch it from our phones. And I watch it before you guys actually watch it. So I see it, and if my phone is buffering, that's okay with me. I don't care if I miss a part.
Right.
I try not to get too deep into what the girls are saying. And I just want to take everything with a grain of salt. I feel like I'm much better now at reading. I read the comments, and the comments are bad.
Yeah, I was like, how
You
do you
know,
even
sometimes they're
stomach that?
good, some of them are bad. I just have grown to have like a thick skin, really, and it doesn't really bother me because I know it's just people behind a computer that's just saying stuff. Now, granted, I'm still human, so some things people say kind of touch you. You're like, oh my God, that was like a horrible thing to say.
Right.
And it's always like, social media is so mean. They can say whatever they want to say to you, but the moment you say something back or fire back, like you're this bad guy,
Right.
it's so one-sided. And it's just so doggone negative. You just have to find a way to try and let certain things to roll off your back, and then try and respond when you feel like you need to really respond.
Right.
So that's how I'm trying to enter 2018. Now, I can tell you that I won't have a lot of setbacks, I probably will.
Right.
But I really don't want to respond to things that I really don't have to respond to, but you know.
That's smart. There's so much to tackle this season. We're not going to get to all of it, but I definitely want to ask you about Kenya and her husband. Have
Yeah.
you met her husband yet?
Yes, as a matter of fact, as I was sitting here with you, I was texting with Kenya.
Oh, nice.
I've met Marc. I think he's a nice guy.
Oh, great.
He's a Leo. My husband's a Leo. I'm a
Nice.
Sagittarius. I believe in astrology.
Me too.
And I think that, you know, Sagittarius and Leos really connect because I'm married to a Leo and I'm a Sag, and Marc is a Leo, and I really like him. I like his
good.
energy.
Good.
As a matter of fact, all of the husbands on the show are Leos. Greg is a
Really?
Leo, Marc is a Leo, and Todd is a Leo.
So if you need to get with a Real Housewife, be a Leo.
Be a Leo, man.
That's it. And speaking of dating, your friend Cynthia, she's
Yes.
now dating in her
Yes.
fabulous 50s.
Yes.
When she began that process, did she look to you for advice?
Now, you know she didn't look to me for no
But did you
advice.
give her any anyway?
A lot of advice. You know, I gave her all
Right.
the advice in the world.
What advice would
Yeah.
you give to women who might be like Cynthia and starting dating again?
Well, Cynthia knows I'm like a matchmaker. At heart, I really think that I'm the matchmaker queen. I feel like I know who you should be dating. Like, I feel like I really have great discernment when it comes to me. I've been dating the same guy since 1996. So over 20 years I've been with Greg. And I was 28
Wow.
years old when I met Greg.
Wow.
So I've been with him like forever, and I was so young dating a much older guy.
And
I
how
wasn't-
much older is Greg than
12
you?
years.
Okay.
Now, I wasn't looking for an older man. As I was just saying to a group of women earlier today, sometimes I'm like a lot of women. You always have this thing in your head that, you know, he needs to be tall, dark, and handsome, or whatever he needs to be.
That's what we say.
Yeah, but I wanted to look inside and then look outside. And at 28 years old, I was able to do that. A lot of times, a lot of my girlfriends are gorgeous, beautiful, successful women, and they're single.
And why do you think that is?
You know, they're very powerful, as in, you know, I don't need a man, you know, like I want one, but I ain't necessarily got to have now. Well, I ain't gonna take that much junk. You know, I ain't taking that. When you're in a relationship, there is a lot of give and take, and you have to learn to give and take. And everything that someone does wrong, you can't just be out. No matter, now women probably would think I'd be like, leave that man. I'm never that girl. No, I really believe, because I've been in a long relationship, there's a lot of give and take.
You do kind of be like, nope, I'm leaving. If this is not working out.
It's a lot of give and take. And you have to think about what is invested in this. Also, is this person really telling you the truth? Did he just really make a mistake? You're going to make mistakes too. You're not perfect. You know, you may not make a mistake as far as cheating, but you may make other mistakes as far as you may not be the best housekeeper. You may not be the best lover. You may not be the best mom. You know, there's a lot of things. And I just think that there's a lot of give and take. And there's a lot of communication that need to happen.
I want to ask you too about your husband, Greg, because you guys went through a very public split.
Yes.
And then for some like you're remarkably close this season. We saw you at his bedside in the hospital.
Yes.
But a lot of people wouldn't be able to sort of get over that sort of split and get back together and act. And it really seems as if nothing happened.
Yes.
What do you credit that to?
Greg and I have always been friends first. I really need Greg. Like and I feel like he really needs me. We do have a real connection. Anybody that's ever been around us or saw us date or anything, they always say, you know, like, I can't even imagine Greg without you, you without Greg. Greg was out here single, you're out here single. Like, it was so weird seeing you guys out. Like, that doesn't even work. I look to him for a lot of support, and I feel like he looked to me for a lot of support. Me being the woman that I'm speaking to you of, look, you can make so many mistakes, and then there's a time when you have to say, look, so all of these aren't mistakes. This is apparently a habit. And you have to put a stop to certain things. And I felt like in my relationship with Greg, I had to show him. Some people, it's hard to tell them, like, you have to stop, you have to do this, they don't get it. You have to say, okay, well, then I'm out. Because I'm not going to deal with it anymore. And I don't think my husband ever thought that I would ever say to him that I'm out. And when I said I'm out, he was livid. And
we saw that.
Yeah, it made him changed a lot of his ways. A lot of people would say things like, you know, Nene, you know, they would think, well, maybe Nene's gone Hollywood. Nene's done this or that. And she's running Greg. And I was like, that's so not true. You guys really need to. Greg is a Leo, honey. I already told you. He can run his own stuff. He does. Greg is different. I'm more public. He's more private. And
I want to ask you too, because you mentioned going Hollywood, and that's something that one of your cast members, a lot of your cast members like to say, especially Portia. And we've seen you guys be best friends, and now this sort of fallout this season. Where does your relationship stand today?
With Portia, I feel like, you know, I want people to watch the show to see actually what really happens with us. But we definitely played the big sister, little sister role. We've never been best friends, but we've always been, you know, friends. But best friends is just a big word. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't been there, but we've been friends. And our relationship goes to an interesting place. I just
hopefully more peaceful. I think that you were a great influence on her.
Well, you know, what I've learned from talking to Portia, if I'd known that the little bit of advice that I said to her would make our relationship take this big of a U-turn, I wouldn't have never said it. So what I've learned is everybody doesn't want your advice.
Nope, they sure don't.
You know, even though they say they do, they really don't.
They really don't, especially if they don't ask for it. We have a Facebook question from Valencia Pinkney. She asks, what really did Portia do? I don't think she did anything.
Well, you know, it's more like, it's so weird how the viewers look at the show. I guess everybody's looking through it through their own eyes, and they see and miss things. I was actually I, first of all, felt I was a great friend to Portia in many ways that you guys don't know about, because you only get to see so much on the show.
Right.
So I can only speak when I'm on the show and speaking about what you saw. I was a good friend to Portia when she jumped on Kenya, like she was literally going to lose her job.
Yep.
I rallied for Portia to stay on this show. You know, I don't have that kind of influence. I'm not an executive. However, I rallied for her. I went and got her an attorney. The attorney who represented her was an attorney who represented my son when my son was in trouble. So I asked him, would you represent Portia as a favor to me?
Wow.
And he did, so much so that he walked Portia through the jail system, so to speak. Most people, when you get arrested, you go to jail, you fingerprints. He actually was able to walk her through the system, and have a person right there with you, walking you in and out, is a big deal. Because most people go in, you got to sit and wait, you got to get bonded out, it takes hours. She was able to have this attorney go, and I asked him to do this and help me out. I wanted to help Portia as a friend. And to my knowledge, she had never been arrested before.
And so do you think that she just wasn't grateful enough, or didn't?
It's not even that. Okay, then her marriage, and I was there with her for that. Then her fighting, everything she did, I just felt like I was there. She moved into my neighborhood. I felt like, you know, I was just there for her. And this is where I felt things went left. I went to Jamaica. When I got to Jamaica, she wouldn't even speak to me. Now, I don't know how they show it to you guys, how you view it through your own eyes. She wouldn't even talk to me.
We didn't see that.
Yeah, in Jamaica, we didn't really talk.
Yeah.
We just laughed a little bit, just in the group, but we never really talked. Andy asked me to give her some advice because she had been in a couple of fights. And I simply said to her, the little advice I gave her was, you know, you don't want to do that. And I thought I didn't say it in a mean way, and everybody knew I could talk mean if I wanted to. I didn't. She took it very left. I would call her up to try and talk to her. She wouldn't return my calls, my text messages, nothing. She literally was like not speaking to me. And then all of a sudden, I went on Andy's show like 2 years later and said that I think they should get rid of freak and fraud. And she's acting as if our relationship was, we weren't even speaking. We hadn't spoken in 2 years. Girl, you haven't returned my text in forever.
Right.
We weren't even friends. I didn't even feel like she had the right. It's just a lot of stuff. You know, when you're in a friendship with somebody, it's like a relationship. It's 50-50. You don't get to talk to me whenever you want to damn talk to me.
Right.
Like if we're in friendship, we talk to each other.
Right.
You know?
I want to move on just a little bit because I'm a little sad about that relationship, but I have faith that you two guys will move on and move forward. But last night's episode touched on a really important topic, domestic violence. And I think the statistic is nearly 1 in 4 women deal with this. I know that you've been very open about your personal experiences with domestic violence. What does it mean to you that the show sort of put this on the platform and said, we need to talk about this?
It meant a lot. I talked about domestic violence season 1, season 2. I did a big hat brunch.
Yep.
I did a high heel race called Healing the Soul. I've always talked about, you know, domestic abuse. Out of all of these girls, I've been the only one all these seasons talking about domestic abuse. Not that they haven't been abused or anything, but this is the first time all of a sudden that these women are now stepping up saying they've been abused. And I've always talked about it. Nobody's ever said to me, you know, I guess people come out in time or talk whenever they want to have time. Now we got people saying they spokespersons for domestic abuse and all of this stuff. It's quite interesting. But the one thing that is great is that Bravo played this scene with all of us supporting one another and talking about domestic abuse, because many of the women have gone through something abusive and they want to talk about it. At a time like this, so much happening with the industry, especially with abuse towards women. So it was great to show.
Yeah, and last night the Golden Globes happened. You're an actress, loved you on Glee and The New Normal. And a lot of actresses were on the red carpet wearing black and sort of standing in solidarity with women who've been sexually harassed. Have you ever had that experience with your journey in Hollywood?
Never. I never, which probably took a lot longer for me to become known. And I've been out for years, you know, out at pilot season every year. Maybe I should have, you know, got a little touch or a little fear here and there. I'm just kidding.
Maybe I can't take
I'm just kidding.
You don't want those.
No,
you
I don't
want
want
those problems.
I'm just kidding.
No.
I definitely know what to. But I've never had an issue.
No, good,
Never.
good. I want to wrap this up. It is the start of a new year, 2018. What are your New Year's resolutions this year?
I have a lot of New Year's resolutions. I've been asked all day today. I'm from the South, so we don't tell our New Year's resolutions.
Oh, really?
I really think that you should move in silence. I think if you let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, it's a bad thing. Even if your goal is to be on a diet this year. When you go on a diet, you go on a diet in silence. You do not tell your friends around that you're on a diet, because the moment you order a salad with ranch dressing on, they're going to say, that's ranch dressing, honey. And you know, that's got a lot of calories in it, girl. You shouldn't be drinking. You shouldn't be eating that.
True.
You know, you shouldn't drink that. It's got sugar. So you go on your diet, and if you make a mistake and order a salad with some ranch dressing on, don't nobody got to know you messed up but you. And you can get back up and start over tomorrow. I think everything you do, you need to move in silence, okay? Whatever your goals are for 2018, you tell them to yourself. You don't even have to tell them to your husband or your partner or your boyfriend or girlfriend.
I love that
no
advice.
matter who it is, you do it on your own and move in silence.
I love that. Thank you so much, Nene.
Yes.
And I'm
Thank
glad you
you.
weren't silent during this interview,
No.
but I had such a great time meeting you. And y'all heard that 2018, move in silence. But for now, we're signing off. I'm Joy Marie McKenzie, and this is ABC News.